All right, everybody, welcome to the deep dive, where we dig into the really interesting stuff. And today we are looking at something from the Daily Beast that is about how candidates run in elections.
Yeah, this is really an interesting look at how people talk during elections,
Yeah.
which is really, really important.
They're talking about this interview with a journalist from Bloomberg News and a former president.
Okay.
And so the journalist asks this like very normal question about Google,
Hmm.
kind of a tech question, and he
Yeah.
just goes off on this tangent about voter fraud.
That's a classic deflection tactic. You see that a lot.
Really?
Instead of actually answering the question, he just changes the subject to something that he wants to talk about.
And the article even said that he was like,
Yeah.
the big issue is election integrity.
Right.
We cannot be talking about technology when our democracy is under attack.
Right. It's like he's trying to control whatever he's thinking about instead of actually, like, having to answer a tough question.
Yeah. So later on, the journalist asks him about healthcare, because, that's a big topic. And what do you think he says?
What does he say?
Immigration.
Oh, my gosh. Of
Yeah.
course he brings up immigration. It's like he had this playbook, and he's just running through the list.
Yeah, right.
No matter what the question is, he's going to tie it back to one of his, 3 talking points.
So the article calls that a monomania.
A monomania, yes.
What does that even mean?
So basically it means he's, laser focused on just these few things, and he talks about them all the time, even if they're not relevant at all.
So is that like a good strategy or a bad strategy? I can't even tell.
Well, you think about it and you're like, why wouldn't you want to be able to talk about all these other important things?
Right.
But it can actually be pretty clever.
How?
Because when you say the same thing over and over again, people start to believe it, even if they're not really paying attention.
Oh, like they just get used to hearing it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it might not even matter if it's true or not.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is a little bit. But that's why we need to be paying attention, right? And thinking critically about what we're hearing.
So what you're saying is, even though the journalist is asking good questions,
Yes.
by just talking about the same few things over and over again, he can actually change how people think about those things, even if they're not related to the original question.
Exactly. He's controlling the narrative.
Wow.
And that is a powerful thing, especially during an election.
Okay, so what can we do about this?
Well, the most important thing is to be aware of it, right? Like you said, don't just take everything at face value.
Right.
When you see a candidate talking, ask yourself, is he really answering the question, or is he just trying to distract us with his talking points?
It's like we have to be detectives.
Exactly.
Right.
Looking for clues.
Look for those clues and think for yourselves.
Don't just believe everything you hear.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And that is why we do these deep dives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about.
Thanks for listening, everybody.